Hello, young mathematicians. This is Super Baldwin speaking, and this video will be informing you about adding 10 or 100 to any number mentally. Adding 10 or 100 to any number mentally. And by mentally, I mean no pencil, no paper. You simply add 10 or 100 to any number in your mind, and you say the answer. So, to demonstrate, let's first take the situation, actually on paper, of, 100 plus 10. Now, this video is about how to add mentally, but first let's do it on paper. So 100 plus 10, we're adding 10 to 100, and I also want to add 100 to 100. We're trying to learn how to add 10 or 100 to any number mentally, but first on paper. So normally, if you were to do addition this way, you would say 0 ones plus 0 ones is 0 ones, 0 tens plus 1 10 is 110, 100 plus no hundreds is 100. So the answer to 100 plus 10 is 110. And in this case, 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 0, and 1 plus 1 is 2. So 100 plus 100 is 200. Now this is a good way to add, but this is not what this video is about. So we're trying to learn how to do this without paper or pencil. So we're not doing this. We're going to be adding mentally. And so how do we do that? Well, the secret to adding 10 or 100 mentally to any number is to understand place value. And I'm going to explain place value briefly. If you're not able to understand place value after this video, I recommend that you look at other videos on place value from Khan Academy or YouTube. It's very important to understand place value. So what do I mean by that? Well, place value, to understand place value, please first read this number aloud. So if you're watching on your computer or your phone, just say that number out loud. You should have said 534. Now notice what I say. I'll point with my pencil as I say this number. 534. Watch again. 534. Now notice something. I didn't say 534. I said 534. So this is actually the hundreds place. Any numbers that go here are hundreds. So this is actually 5 hundreds. And this is actually 534. So this is 30. And what is 30? Well, 30 is actually 3 tens. If you were to take paper right now and pause the video and add 10 plus 10 plus 10, you would see that it is 30. So 30 is 3 tens. This is the tens spot. And this number, 534, well, 4, this is in the 1 spot. Why is this called the 1 spot? Well, 4, because 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 4. This is actually 4 ones, see? Now, why is this important? Because if I want to add 10 or 100 to 534, mentally, all I need to know is the place values. So using a different sheet of paper, let's add 534 without a pencil. I'll only use a pencil to write down the number, 534, mentally. So 534 plus 10. If I were to add 10 to this number, do you think I would add 10 to the hundreds, to the tens, or to the ones? Well, if I were to add 110 or add 10 to this number, I would add it, of course, in the 10 spot. So the answer is 544. Now, if you don't understand why that's the answer, just keep listening to the video. Here's why. Remember, this is 534, and we already said this is 3 tens. Well, if I add 110, this is 110, to this number, that means I'm going to move from 3 tens to 4 tens. all I have to do is increase the tens place by 1. And so, therefore, 634 plus 10 is 644. 615 plus 10 is 625. 738 plus 10 is 748. You only have to change the tens place to add 10 to any number. The tens place goes up by 1. The tens place goes up by 1. And so this works also for adding 100. If I were to add 714 plus 100, the answer is 814. From 700s simply to 800s. So what is 107 plus 100? You should have said 207. What is 664 plus 100? 764. So adding 100 to any number, you simply have to increase the 100s by 1. And adding 10 to any number, like 630 plus 10, 640. You only have to increase the tens digit by 1. So let's look at a pattern of numbers in order to make sure that this concept is clear. If I had, starting at 109, let's look at this pattern. What's going on here? Are these numbers increasing by 1? Are they increasing by 5? Are they increasing by 10? What's happening? Well, they're increasing by 10. Notice something. There's always 100 here. There's always 9 here, but the tens place is increasing by 1. 109, 119, 129, 139, 149, 159, 169. All that's happening here is I'm increasing by 10. You add 10 to 109, you get 119. You add 10 to 129, you get, to 119, you get 129. You add 10 to 129, you get 139. You just increase the tens value by 1. And for increasing by 100, you only increase the hundreds place. 109 plus 100, 209, plus 100, 309, plus 100, 409, plus 100, 509. And so adding 10 or 100 to any number mentally is actually quite easy. Now let's go over the one exception that you might have to practice a few times is this one. Let's say we had the number 493. Now adding 100 to this number is easy. If you add one number, you should have said 593 is the answer. 493 plus 100 is 593. Now you're supposed to do that mentally, but I just wanted to show you it's 593 in writing. But let's say I wanted to add 10 to this number. Well, if we wanted to add 10 to this number, we can't increase the 9 to a 10, because then we would get a really big number. This is actually 4,103. Instead, in the case in which you have a 9 in the tens place, you might have to practice thinking of this problem differently. I want you to think of this, instead of a 9 here, I want you to think of 49. So if we were to add 10 to this number, we actually increase from 49 to 50. So 493 plus 10 is 503. 493 plus 10 is 503. And here's the proof. 3 plus 0 is 3. 9 plus 1 is 10. Carry the 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. And so you may have to practice the problems in which a 9 is in a tens place. And that is how you mentally add 10 or 100 to any number. And that's the end of the video.